What we're going to take a look at is how we can make template files within NX. Here's what I mean. When we go File, New, we get all of these different options. Because our company sells NX, I got them all, so I got all the toys. But maybe for you, you really just want to have something in modeling that's going to have many of the parts that you want. So how can I get this set where every time I open a model, for everybody in the company, it's going to be the same file? Or how can I make some custom, let's say, quick start parts? Well, that's what we're going to look at. To start with, I'm going to create a new model, and I'm going to create this in the C drive, and I've got a folder here, NX templates. So I'm just going to call this one template model. And I'll throw an underscore in there for good measure. So all I want this model to do is I wanted to make it where anytime I make a new part, it comes in gray, not green. So currently I make a new block, comes in gray. So let me do an undo. I'm going to go to my preferences, object, and I'm going to say any solid body that comes in, I want it to be green. And this is just so we can see how this test will work. So I'll make a new block, green. All right, that's what I want. I'm going to save this file. This is going to be the start of my templates. I'm going to make a new one though. So I'm going to do a save as on this. And this one's going to be called template I-beam. For this one, I'm going to start with a sketch. Go to my library. Use the NX example section library. I'll grab an I, bring that in. I'm just going to drag that along. And I'll extrude it. Notice it's still green. Okay. So this is going to be my start part or quick start part for an I-beam. I'll just hide the datum in the sketch. So I'll save it. I'm going to do one more. Save as. This time it's going to be a C. Really, it wouldn't be a beam, but a C channel. Let me just delete out the sketch and extrusion. Put a new one in there. Same thing. Just going to grab from my shapes, drag it over, finish, extrude, and I'll hide that sketch. Save. All right. So if we look at that folder, NX templates, now we can see I've got my model, I've got my I-beam, I've got my C channel. I could do the same thing with any other start parts. I could do the same thing with a drafting template as well. But let's take a look at the, so to speak, inner workings of NX and templates. We're going to go to the C drive, Program Files, Siemens, and my latest NX 2506. And then from here, we go into this UGII folder. So UGII, I'm going to roll down till I get to templates. And then when I'm inside of templates, this is where, when we click File New, this is all of those little bits that we see. So I could look through and find which part do I want to use. So I'm going to look for the model. And what I'm looking for is not a .prt, but rather a .pax. So UGS model templates.pax. I'm going to just take and edit this in Notepad just to show you what it looks like. So it's just a bunch of text here, which we're going to use and then change. So I'm going to take and copy this. And then I'm going to go back to my NX templates. I'm going to paste it right in there. Here's one thing to note. You might want to change it to read, or from read only to being able to access it. From here, I want to edit this in Notepad. And we're going to keep a lot of what we see, we're going to keep it in here. I might change some of this though. So you can see we've got the different palette entries. So the first one, I'm going to change it from model to model template. For the preview image, we're not going to use one. Actually, I'm going to just leave that one alone. And then for the file name, this is the file name that I want to use. So I'm going to say delete that, template underscore model. For number 2, let's have another one. This time we're going to change it from model to start part I-beam. And for the file name, we're going to change that to template underscore I. Once I've got these ones created, next I want to copy this entire section. And I'm going to paste it below because I want to keep the assembly and some of the other ones. So I'm going to call this the ID D2 to D3. It won't be an I-beam, but rather a C channel. So I'll need to change the name. The file name will be template C channel. And then the rest of this, I can just leave it as it is. So we've got our model, our start part, and the I-beam and the C channel. I'm just going to save this, and we're going to close out of any of these PAX files. The next thing I need to do is I need to go into my system environment variables. So I'm just going to type in search environment. Hey, there it is. Edit the environment variables. Now you will need admin rights to do this, but I'll choose environment variables. And then I'm going to come down and I can see I've already got a couple of environment variables, but I want to make a new one. And it's going to be called UGII underscore template underscore dir for directory. Then I'm going to browse to the directory. So this was the same thing, C drive, NX templates, okay. Everything's good, okay, okay, okay. We're gonna go back into NX, and I'm just going to close it and reopen it. New, and look at that. We have the start I-beam, the start C channel. But wait a second, didn't we make a template? Where is it? Well, this is kind of cool. When I switch over from my units and I go to inches, oh, there it is. But we created this thing in metric. So what's wrong? Well, let's go back to the PAX file and look at my entry 1. And wouldn't you know, the units are set for number 1 to English, the rest metric. Let me set this to metric, save, and I will have to close out my NX and then reopen it. But let's see if this did the trick. New, look at that, model template, my I-beam, my C channel. If we notice, we just have model, so we would need to do the same thing with drafting if we wanted, or any of the other ones. So let's look at our model template. Remember, we set this up where if I make something, it should turn up green. Hey, green, very nice. What about the I-beam? I-beam, nice. C channel. You get the idea. We could take this a couple steps further. I could put some holes in this or other features. So really think about any models that you're using over and over and over again. Could they be a start part like what I did? Pretty cool stuff. And it only took us 15 minutes or so. And now we're off to the races.